Dear friends, I am with an esteemed guest today who has been very coveted in this profession. I am at Podar International Cambridge School. We are with Jayapal Reddy Yeruva, Principal of Podar International Cambridge School, the youngest principal in the field of education, who has contributed 21 years of his life towards this and has made a mark in the life of the students.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So I think it has been a very pleasant morning with you. We've been talking about this. I think let's have an informal setting together.
Thank you for actually adding me to this wonderful social media conversation. Well, I feel proud to have a conversation
Absolutely. Being the principal, you're dealing with children and especially dealing with the teenagers. How fruitful it has been and how successful it has been. Are there some qualities that you really cherish of these teenagers?
Of course. As an educator, 21 years, and all these years I've been a teacher, head of the department, a coordinator, and for the last 5 years I've been a principal of the schools. What I understand is, in this role, I feel myself as part of the current generation, maybe Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and I feel connected with this world. That's the beautiful advantage, or maybe that's the opportunity I get as being an educator.
Absolutely. Because the reason being, when you're connected with students, I think your mind gets wired to such an extent that you also belong to their community. Actually.
That's exactly what I always feel as an educator. Okay. I feel, in any other job, you are confined to an office or maybe a complete away from the real society of growth. But as a teacher, I feel I am with the community, I am growing and they are growing.
Absolutely.
So the social changes, what you see outside, automatically as part of my life. Yeah. So that's the point why I enjoy being part of a principal.
Teenagers of today is very different from the teenage of you and I have grown up with. So what do you think is something that you really admire about this teenage children?
I remember when I was a student, maybe in my teenage, I had an opportunity only with my teachers and my books. That's all.
Okay.
That was our world. But today's teenagers have got their different world. They are actually had an opportunity from different angles, let's say tech savvy, let's say social media, let's say TV, let's say the number of channels that they are their own created YouTube channels.
Okay.
They are able to see the world in their hand and they're connected to the world directly.
Okay.
And that's the opportunity that they have in their hand.
So you mean to say that they've seen the world more than you and I do?
Absolutely. Well, I remember I was a village student and the best world is my district. And today, my son who is there is seeing Chinese or Japanese movies and he translates to me because he enjoyed that. For me, listening about Japan was at the age of perhaps 18, 19 and my son of 10 years now is able to watch a Japanese movie.
Absolutely.
Easily. So that is the connection that the teenagers today have actually. Maybe today many of us think that they are isolated, but in fact they are not isolated.
Okay.
They are more than isolated. Okay. They are actually connected in their way, not in our way, in their way.
Oh, that's a beautiful concept that you're saying, because very often we term them as irrational, isolated. They have all kinds of irritable. So how? But then you have come with a different perspective to this kind of a world itself. They're more connected than you and I do.
Absolutely.
Am I right? More informed than you and I do. So what would the kind of challenges you face as a principal, especially with teenagers? I'm not talking about children who are there in the lower classes because parents are going to hound you every day. But in these teenagers, there are a lot of these difficulties that we come across.
Yeah. The first challenge, I don't say as a principal, as a person also we face, the teenagers are fast growing.
Okay.
They are exposed to various things and they adopt immediately and they try to assimilate those changes of the world into their life automatically. Well, being yesterday's generation person, I may not be that fast to adopt those changes in the world.
Okay.
Today, I feel that gap which I need to bridge immediately. So I need to update myself constantly. to reach their expectations. That's my problem.
Oh my God. Okay. This is a different way of different perspective of looking at the whole thing, So generally, we all put the blame on the teenage children.
I don't
Here is a
believe
principal who says that he needs to bridge the gap. It's amazing to hear such wonderful things. In fact, last time I remember, you said that we are going through a phase of renaissance.
Absolutely.
And, I definitely want you to throw light on that particular aspect of it.
I would say that, I was a history teacher. I
Okay.
used to teach the students about Renaissance in 16th, 15th century, where the world has changed and today Europe is Europe because of that seeds of Renaissance. But now I'm saying the same Renaissance is happening to the current generation of teenagers. But this Renaissance is in the, let's say, the artificial intelligence. It could be, let's say, it could be the technology that has been
Breakthrough.
updated
It's a
actually.
technology.
All these things are giving them a new exposure. So I would say they are in the age of Renaissance, where they are, they're catering to the world as a simple unit,
Okay.
as a world simple unit,
Yeah.
and they are able to jump in this unit as free as they are possible.
Beautifully said.
While
Very rightly
we
said.
struggle to jump in that in 30 years back or 20 years back, we struggled that way. Like to understand, maybe to go to a college in the new life, we hesitated.
Correct.
Parents hesitated. But today, we send our kids to every country in the
Correct.
world and they are ready to adopt that world,
Correct.
that culture. And that means they have the new Renaissance where they migrate to the world of their choice and assimilate themselves to the local culture and bring their own choices there.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's why I call this is another Renaissance,
So that is
new Renaissance.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what do you think of the generation? Because it is not that they're devoid of any profit. People talk about their depression, their anxiety, their they are into a world of discontentment. That's also there. Okay?
Absolutely.
You as a principal, do you come across these kind of situations in schools, especially among the school children?
Absolutely. When I say the new Renaissance, it doesn't come without problems.
Correct.
There are problems that the kids are facing today. Especially the kids of today are facing acceptance.
Okay.
The bigger phase that they are facing, the bigger challenge that they are facing is the question of acceptance. Acceptance from their parents, acceptance from their peer group, acceptance from their society.
Okay.
There is always a question mark on their face.
Okay.
So they have a question, if I do this, am I going to be accepted by my parents, my teachers or my peer group?
So you mean to say that leads to a fear in them?
Absolutely. When they question in themselves that am I being accepted, they feel a little stressed about that and they try to aloof from that. They try to be isolated from it.
Okay.
And that creates a little more stress.
Oh my God.
The people who accept that it's not their acceptance, it's my personal acceptance, they automatically develop themselves. They take the challenges.
Okay.
The people who worry, the children, the teenagers who worry about social acceptance, they feel to be a little more stressed out. And definitely they need to be hand-holded.
Okay.
And that is where the school's role is going to be.
Is there any kind of instance that you've come across wherein you feel these challenges are really detrimental for a child?
Absolutely. I feel, if not me alone, you must have faced people committing suicides, teenagers committing suicides, teenagers falling sick actually.
Exactly.
Teenagers getting into life-threatening situations.
Correct.
These are the signs of this stress or this isolation that they are facing.
Okay.
Perhaps maybe a good chat from the people who are around to these people may help them to get rid of that.
Okay.
But that is where not happening. Probably when they look for the parents at home, if the parent is too busy, they don't spare the time.
Okay.
And the teachers, if they are not socially advanced like the teenagers, there is a small gap between the teachers and the student. And if the school culture is able to bridge that gap, students will automatically trust the school.
Absolutely.
The teenagers need somebody to trust them.
Absolutely. I think you're really rightly said.
Absolutely.
Because the trust factor is the only thing that's
I
missing.
feel, they're looking for somebody to share their mind, to trust.
Yeah.
Look at the entrepreneurs today.
Correct.
What they have the ideas.
Correct.
If the parent or the school that trusts them, if they're given an opportunity, you see today's entire new generation of business community. The people who have ideas but not trusted still at the lower sides
Absolutely,
actually.
absolutely.
How do
What
they
you're
think young
saying-
entrepreneurs are there?
What you're saying is absolutely true with
So
younger
the
children.
people trusted them.
Yeah.
You trusted them, their parents trusted them, invested in them, automatically they grow up.
Hmm.
When you don't trust and you put a hamper there, okay, you should get only 95% marks, you should get only 99% marks, then I'll support you. No, it's not going to help anybody.
So you
It's not about the marks, it's about the idea that they get in their mind, and that should be trusted. That should be supported.
Absolutely. I think the trust factor is the key bottom line of everything, whether it be from the school level or from the parents. How much of contribution do you feel that the parents can do today? Because are you satisfied with the way the parents have groomed their teenagers, especially the teenagers?
I have
we're
a
talking
different
about.
perspective on the parents
Okay,
today.
very good.
All the parents today are having maximum 1 or 2 children. There are 2 types of parents, what I feel I have seen in my educator career. There are the parents who handhold the students completely, like a cocoon baby. There are the parents who don't bother
You know,
because
I call them as a drone parents.
Could
But
be.
all the time
they
they're
hover
hovering
around them actually. There are the other parents, they think that okay, it is our responsibility to pay the school fees.
No.
It's a school responsibility to take care of my child. I'll be in my world because I'm an earner of my family.
Okay.
So these both are not correct, I feel.
Okay.
That the hovering parent should understand it's time that they should be giving freedom to the students,
Correct.
where they have to grow their own steps.
But are these teenagers good enough to take that kind of decision?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They are good enough because they don't have dearth of knowledge. They have got enough knowledge,
Okay.
enough understanding, enough mental support. What they don't have is the freedom to do that. The hovering parent, if he can give the freedom to the child, you see the child becomes the best in the world.
I know.
Same time, completely leaving the child to the school is also not correct.
Okay.
Because school, they spend around 6 to 8 hours,
Correct.
but they don't share everything in the school.
Okay.
They actually look back to the parents again,
Okay.
where they need some quality time,
Okay.
some good enough time to spend with their
Yeah.
parent, to share what they enjoy in the school,
Yeah.
what they get ideas, to be supported by the parent,
Absolutely.
or to be, to be understood by the parent. This
Okay.
is the change I am facing today.
I know.
Can you be my side?
Absolutely.
If the parent is able to answer, yes, my dear, I am next to you, you do what the best you can do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can see all Tatas and Birlas in
Absolutely.
the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jayapal. I think this is exactly. I have written it in my book. For the challenges. They have the physical challenge. They have the mental challenge. They have every other challenge. You look at them. They're in a different world altogether.
Absolutely.
So for them to be accepted, both physically and mentally, it becomes a challenge. But parents don't think that they're still the children. They're their own toddler, and then they start guiding them to such an extent.
No, guidance is important. I don't
I
say they should
understand.
not, but the
cannot
parents should
control
know
them.
where to guide and where to leave the hands. It should be hands-on, hands-off
Absolutely.
approach.
It's like a kite philosophy.
Absolutely. You can't hold the kite and expect
Allow
it to
rise
grow,
above.
rise above. You have to leave the leash a little,
And
then it grows up, then
absolutely.
hold it, then leave it.
I know.
So it just you control and let it grow.
I know. So we need more workshops for parents, apparently, rather than the students. To be
Well,
honest.
I wouldn't blame the parents also,
Okay.
because sometimes parents are also tied up with both mother and father working together.
Yeah.
Their office jobs, their personal problems actually, and then kids, they give their own problems to the parents by exposing
But-
themselves to different.
But tell me
world.
one thing. I differ from you in this because having brought these children to the world, don't you think that we need that little time with your child?
They do. They should be spending. I'm not saying they should not. They have to spend the time with them. However, blame alone goes to the parent will not help us actually.
Exactly.
Maybe it's time that society look into getting the trainings for the parent on parenting skills.
Parenting the teens especially.
Absolutely. Parenting the
in
teens.
fact, I think
maybe
everybody...
schools can take that as a lead show to give the parenting skills to the parent in addition to the students being a teenager.
Absolutely.
I
It's
had
about
some
a-
questions actually, like this is a personal experience.
Correct.
One of the parent who met me a few weeks back,
Yeah.
the child is in grade 8.
Okay.
The parent has only one single child,
Okay.
and parent is an educator, completed her post-graduation. Both the parents are there in
Yeah.
a respectable job.
Yeah.
But the point what they mentioned is, sir, I don't understand with my child what is going on. The child is a little distracted in the school. His performance is a little weaker side actually,
Correct.
academic performance. So when we call the parent and try to understand what exactly is the problem, parents said that he has no clue because the child spends hours together in his room studying.
Correct.
And parent has no idea whether he is doing it or not. Parent
Correct.
thinks that, the parent thought that, okay, he's studying.
Correct.
That complete gap between the parent and the child is clearly visible. They don't talk to each other much.
Correct.
Child, aloofs himself to the room,
Correct.
while parent is in his job or in his life, mundane life, they are there.
Correct.
When I call the student personally, I ask the child, what's exactly is happening? Sir, I'm studying. His simple answer, I'm studying. Okay, you're studying, but your marks are not showing. Then I asked him, what is exactly going on? Sir, to be honest with you, I feel disconnected from my family, from my school, because there is no one who to listen to me.
At school or at home?
Anywhere. That is what he felt it.
Okay.
Then my next question is, why don't you talk to our school counselor? Because we have a counselor, in-house counselor. He said that I didn't dare to go. I didn't dare to go. And that's where we started helping the child actually. And in fact, before helping the child, I had to talk to the parent. It was like parenting has to be done to the parenting. And so what I did is I conversed the parent that it's time that you take a step back and then talk to your child to understand what is going on. Maybe providing him with rich gadgets, rich computer, rich books is not alone enough actually. Time that you understand that there is a problem and communicate to the school. Communicate with us. Actually tell us, okay, this is your identification. We also do the same thing. When we talk to the child, we communicate with you, because it should become a triangular story rather than a singular story.
Absolutely.
Child, parent and the school.
Yeah.
Let us
I
become
think all of us have to be on the same page.
Absolutely. Let us bring that unified effort so that your child is being helped. And I'm sure in coming weeks, the child is going to be helped.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that it's only a singular instance I just mentioned. There are multiple instances where we definitely require parenting skills to be given to the parent. And remember, today's world is having all nuclear families.
Absolutely.
When we were kids, grandpas, grandmoms were there to help the parents on the parenting.
I think they were the punching boards,
Absolutely. They were there, even if you get angry, they were there to support you.
And they were
so emotionally were supported as a parent, as a student. But today, if you see, all flats are nuclear flats, and definitely they don't have clue what's going on there, actually. As a result, the disconnection is happening.
Absolutely.
Probably it's time that we build the disconnection.
I think you really brought out I think we resonate with each other.
Of course, you were a principal. You were a principal. You know the stories.
In fact, I call this as a dining table philosophy. So where I say that there must be one meal at least a day. If not a day, at least once in a week.
Once in a week, yes.
Everything is just thrashed out at the table. It could be Russian-Ukraine war to that of LGBTQ.
Yeah, that common forum which brings them together is important.
Can I believe, Jayapal, the other day there was a girl who came to me. She said, it's almost a year since I've had lunch or dinner with my parents.
So
she had tears in my eyes when I gave her, just served a little bit of cookie to her. She cried. I said, why would you cry? She said, it's this moment that I really want.
See, it took for you a year to understand that.
Correct.
And a parent did not still understand.
Exactly.
So why there is a complete
That is
and that's the most important challenge that teenagers are facing today.
today.
There is no other challenge. They don't have the problem of bread and butter. They don't have the problem of knowledge.
Yes.
They don't have the problem of opportunity. They don't have the problem of the world. They have the problem of connection, emotional connection.
I think that is the only bottom line I can say is the emotional.
So if that is bridged properly, the rest will take care of itself.
I think now you are a young, dynamic, different principal altogether. But how would you really measure the myth of being a principal, and how would you debunk it, kind of a thing?
One myth on every principal, maybe you must have faced it, and I am facing it sometimes. We are unapproachable.
Yes.
People think that we are unapproachable.
Yes.
Because we sit in a cabin, perhaps in a room, and people take permissions to enter the room.
Correct.
And we have our own busy life. But I feel that is something which I break actually.
Okay.
The principal's door should never be closed actually. It should be open to everybody. Because it's not about your routine, it's about the school that you are connecting to.
Correct.
It is the students, they look up to you.
Yeah.
They look up to you and you should be open to them when they look up to you.
Okay.
So I feel as a principal, this is a myth I want to shatter in my school. I have a simple open door policy. My door is open for grade 1 child to grade 12 child. More than the teachers, my students enter my office to talk about everything and anything.
Can you believe, Jayapalji, it has taken almost 6 months for me to break this myth and then come back to you, to be honest. And then once I met you, it was like, it was a free flow.
That's
And
exactly.
I
So
think that is
you
exactly,
maybe you may not be able to do everything for the child, but you have an answer whether yes or no.
Correct.
When you say yes, they take it positively.
Correct.
When you say no, they will learn how to say no tomorrow.
Correct.
That's also important because see, it is the world that has to learn how to say no.
Correct.
So when you and the position say yes, they enjoy.
Correct.
When you say no, you will tell in a diplomatic way. That is a lesson for them to say no tomorrow.
I know.
So that's how you feel it's an open door policy. You listen to them,
Absolutely.
you give an answer.
So beautifully
That is
said.
what exactly I
Beautifully
feel.
said.
As a principal, I need to shatter that.
Absolutely, absolutely. What is it that one message that you want to give it to your children or any of the teenagers growing today? What is that one message that you want to give it to?
I don't think I'm so big enough to give big messages, but my single message is trust yourself and we are there for you.
Absolutely.
Every parent will tell, I'm there for
Absolutely.
you. Trust yourself. What you're doing is right.
Beautifully it is.
Only make it appropriate.
Very sweet.
Simple.
Very sweetly said.
That's my message to
Very,
everybody.
very sweetly said. Any last word that you want to have with us so that we can...
I would thank you very much for that, for giving me this small opportunity so that I can share my ideas, my views on current teenagers, whom I meet almost every day.
Oh, sir.
Every day I meet them, I talk to them, I enjoy with them actually. That's where sometimes, my skills to be shared with the others and other skills I should learn.
Correct.
So that together we all grow.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
So,
for this.
how do you see Podar International in Thane growing?
Well, Podar as a brand, as a school, the best school that I have encountered. I must have worked in 5-6 schools so far. The culture, the openness, the responsibility, the respect that they give is obviously the best which the schools have seen there. And at Podar, first is safety, child safety. Safety can be physical safety, safety can be emotional safety, safety can be academic safety. That's the first priority. Second is the connection between the student and the teacher. That is given utmost priority. And the third, we are there for you. You just grow your life.
So beautiful.
That's how the whole philosophy of Podar.
Beautifully said.
We take care of all the background.
Yeah.
You are as a child. Go ahead because it is your journey for the future.
Correct.
Our journey is to support you.
So
That's how the Podar helped me to grow. And definitely it's the best school.
absolutely, absolutely. With you.
I'm sure this
And
informal
you
conversation is
are,
always the best thing to have an idea.
It looks as if that we resonate the same idea. You reflect the same thought as I do.
Thank you.
I can see my younger version in Jayapalji again.
That's my honor actually. That's my honor.
So thank you for being with me today, and thanks a lot
Thank you
for
very
it.
much.